Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we are going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Mike Barnes never existed during the events of the Karate Kid? So in this timeline, Mike Barnes will never be born, so Mike Barnes will never learn karate, and he wouldn't win any tournaments, and never be known as karate's bad boy, and the events of the Karate Kid would still happen. Daniel would still move to the valley, and he would still have a rivalry with Johnny. Those events would stay the same. Mr. Miyagi would still train Daniel, and their bond would continue to grow. Daniel and Johnny would still fight at the All Valley. Those events would stay the same. Daniel would still defeat Johnny using the crane kick, so Daniel would still be the 1984 All Valley champion. And the events of the Karate Kid 2 would still happen. Daniel and Mr. Miyagi would still go to Okinawa. Those events would carry on. Sato would still want to fight Mr. Miyagi, and Chosen would still want to mess with Daniel. The storm would still happen, and Daniel and Mr. Miyagi would still save Sato. Chosen would still be disgraced. Daniel and Chosen would still fight, and Daniel would still defeat Chosen. The events of the Karate Kid 3 would still happen. Kreese would still go to Terry Silver, and Terry Silver would still want to get revenge on Mr. Miyagi and Daniel. But in this timeline, Terry Silver wouldn't hire Mike Barnes. Instead, he would hire another karate champion from a different city, and he would offer him 25% of Cobra Kai, and the events of the Karate Kid 3 would carry on. So the new champion and Daniel would still have a rivalry, but he wouldn't be as intimidating as Mike Barnes, and he wouldn't go as extreme as Mike Barnes, and Daniel would still be forced to sign up for the All Valley tournament. Terry Silver would still try to manipulate Daniel, so Daniel would still train with Terry Silver in this timeline. In the night of the tournament, Daniel would still compete, but he wouldn't be filled with fear in this timeline. Terry Silver would still tell his champion to gain a point and lose a point against Daniel, so no one would be scoring a point. But in the last few seconds, Daniel would manage to get a point before going into sudden death. So Daniel would still win in this timeline, so he would still be the two-time All Valley champion. And after the tournament, Terry Silver's champion would apologize to Daniel. He would say that he was forced to fight dirty. Daniel would accept his apology, so him and Daniel would start to become friends. And they would even train in Miyagi-Do together, and they would continue to be friends over the years. So in this timeline, Mike Barnes would never meet his wife, and he would never take over the furniture store. And by the time the events of Cobra Kai would happen, those events would still play out. Season 1 would stay the same. Johnny would still train Miguel, and he would still be the All Valley champion. And that is where I'm going to end this What If. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Mike Barnes never existed during the events of the Karate Kid? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.